welcome to ID at Xbox Showcase. I am Megan Camarena, also known as Strawberry17 Plays on Twitch. What's up?
Hi, and I'm Steve Saylor, aka Blind Gamer Steve here on Twitch. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, chat. I see a few people in here. I see Panda Ninja 1345, Legend of the Baby, and Belly on Solo. Thank you so much all for tuning in today. I am really excited because today we're talking indies at Xbox. Megan, how like as hype level from 1 to 10, how are you?
I'm over 9,000. Okay, Steve?
Yes.
Indie games are just like my favorite thing in the entire world. It's like someone had a crazy idea and they're like, let's turn it into a video game. And that's what makes my heart soar. Truly.
I love that because I'm going to need your help because, of course, I'm more of the AAA side. I play some indies here and there, but I come from that side of things. So I want to be able to, like, could you be my guide, my coach? Could you be my coach, Ted Lasso, today for all of indies?
Better yet, I'm going to be your Uncle Iroh, okay?
There we go.
You're going to be
now we're talking.
My Zuko, and I'm going to show you the light, the greener pastures of indie gaming, and it's just going to be... It's going to be a spiritual experience, okay? So heat up that tea. We're about to jump right in.
Yes, awesome. I'll have to grab some tea later. So for chat, for those who are watching, just to kind of like set things up, here's what's going to happen today. We're basically going to be about 2 hours of a ton of different stuff. And no, I wish, believe me, I wish I could be able to say what the release date is for Halo Infinite, but that is not the goal for today. Today is all about indies. We have so much stuff planned for you.
Halo can sit down for a second, okay? It's the indies gamed time to shine. Master Chief, sit back.
Yeah,
okay?
Master Chief, he can wait. He can chill for a bit. It's okay. He's got all winter. He's got a 20th anniversary waiting for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so on today's show, we'll be showcasing and celebrating indie Xbox games, and we'll have many talented devs joining us throughout the day to talk about their games, including Eon Drive, the Vale Shadow of the Crown, Stardew Valley, yes, we have an announcement for Stardew Valley, and Space Lines from the Far Out. And we'll also be joined by guest streamers for some fun interviews and actual live gameplay demos of some of the games we're going to be talking about today, including we're going to have some streamers that Bronze Girl, Ocadrian, and Snowlit.
We'll also have an exclusive interview with Sarah Bond, head of game creator experience at Microsoft. And throughout the day, we'll be dropping exclusive new game trailers and let you know what games are coming to Game Pass. So this is a first look. No one's seen this before.
Ever before seen ever. And I love it. I'm always
I'm gonna
excited.
have a hard time containing myself because, like, at E3, whenever an Annapurna logo comes up, I'm the one that's screaming in the crowd. So if that happens today, I might not be able to contain myself. I'm just letting you know. I get really hyped for indie games.
That I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to like be here with that reaction with you. And also, speaking of you, chat. You're going to be a big part of today's show. I know you didn't sign up, like may not sign up for this, but this is your job for today.
Well, they always sign up for it. Come on, it's Twitch.
Exactly. Make sure to take part using the chat. We'll be sending your thoughts, your questions, and we'll call you out all throughout the day. And I am just, I'm really excited. So chat, come on, join in.
Yeah. And as a reminder, chat, all Twitch gaming shows are co-streamable. So join in on the fun and co-stream our shows, because why not?
Exactly, and I can attest. I've been a co-streamer for this, so this is great, and it's also DMCA free, which is a ton of fun.
Love that.
All right, and so throughout today's, we're going to be showing a bunch of different stuff and never before seen trailers. So make sure to share your reactions here in Twitch chat. So let's get right into it. First up, we are dropping some new game trailers. Let's take a look.
Driven from our homes by the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find. After all this time, we were given an opportunity. Together we will cross this vast poison wasteland. In search of a place yet untainted. Using everything we can find. To build a society that can protect and provide for all of us. Human and animal alike.
Hello, Tester. I am Sarah. My algorithms suggest you might enjoy wanton, solving puzzles. Do you feel more engaged knowing that you are being evaluated by your community? Good. I will now gauge your interest in multiplayer. I am helping. We are doing this together. We are bonding as people bond by doing at home. Do not panic. All of my systems are normal. 200% normal. 3000% normal. Completely normal.
What?
Wow.
Wait, where do we start? There's robots that farm, and then there's like another like a farming simulator, basically.
Oh my gosh, on the back of a turtle?
Yes! Oh my gosh, we were just talking about Avatar, The Last Airbender. That just gave me like those kind of vibes. Holy
It totally
smokes.
did.
And
Oh
one of
my
those
gosh.
games, did it say Game Freak? Did I see that?
I think, yeah, I think it did for Lightyear Frontier. That
Yeah.
one looks cool. So legit, I love. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna go back to as far as Firefly. I love any kind of space
let's
show
do it.
that has a bunch of like kind of country sort of guitar to it soundtrack. That just
Yeah,
warms
yeah.
the cockles of my heart.
The cockles of your heart. I love these type of games because speaking of Stardew Valley, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, I also play like a lot of app games like Mini Motorways or Outlanders, and it's all about kind of setting up your town and your community and watching it thrive. And the first and second game both looked like a lot of that.
Yeah, oh, so
like
they're
these
actually
little mechs.
so this is a sequel then.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
I don't know. I'm just I'm curious. You're the guide.
Oh
That's
no,
okay,
no, I
though.
don't think it's a sequel.
okay.
This is. I'm just saying these are the types of games I love to play.
Oh, these are
This
types of
is-
games.
I'm-
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because this
Sorry,
one,
sorry,
it's
sorry,
like,
yeah.
no, it's fine. It looks like it's kind of like a No Man's Sky, but like maybe a little bit of like multiplayer kind of thing or co-op
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least. So that looks really, really cool. Now, tell me about Wandering Village here. What are your excitement levels for this?
Ooh, it looks like. So I love the little like story in the beginning. It kind of like made my heart a little tender. Chat says they're stoked to play. It looks super cute. I love the artwork. This is such a beautiful looking game already from the start, and I wonder what's the story, what's the world that we're living in. And how do we like progress throughout the game? I imagine you just I imagine you could like it's like what do you advance in civilization? Do you start having skyscrapers? Like what?
That's interesting.
What happens? You know?
Oh my gosh, yeah, like that would be interesting too, because I'm thinking, because it looks like it is a bit of kind of like it has a like to me it has like a Stardew Valley kind of vibe, which already like I was kind of set, like I was already interested a little bit in Stardew. I haven't played it yet, but I'm like this is kind of like a cool thing. I don't know. It's the island on the turtle's back. That's just still kind of like, I don't know why that's messing with my head, but I'm like, I think that's just so interesting and so cool. I kind of want to like, I kind of want to play this now. I kind of want to just jump in this world.
I know. This is so cool. Whoa, they got flamethrowers? Look at that.
Flamethrowers.
What's happening there? How do you
Oh my gosh. I'm kind of wondering that too, because now it looks like, okay, so that looks like a skeleton of an old turtle. Does that mean we get to find like other people's turtles and other people's like villages?
Oh my gosh, and what if you could like trade resources or something like that?
Ooh, I like that.
What if there's zombie people on the dead dinosaurs?
Zombies! Oh my gosh. Okay. I am. Now that's cool. Now let's talk about Lab Rat here. I'm getting Portal vibes from this, like 1000%.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a little bit of a puzzler.
Yeah.
But this is what messed me up a tiny bit, this AI system. I was like, wait, what?
Exactly, yeah. It's like sort of like it makes it seem like kind of like a GLaDOS, sort of like you like they seem nice. It seems nice, but then it's just like chat. AI is just never always our friend in games, and it looks like that even though everything is fine. Quote unquote. I'm already like scared of what that AI can do to me. I don't like Sarah. Come on.
I mean, it looks like you need a big brain for that last game. So I mean, that's a great. I like to play the big brain games with my Twitch chat because I know it's a little bit cheaty, but I'll sit there and be like, I'm not for sure what to do. And then there's always that one smart person in chat that's like up, down, left, right, and then turn around. And then it's done. And then I'm like, wait, I think I got it. I think I have this. And then
I like puzzle games too. And I like actually what Game Manuel said in the chat, like Lab Rat pits you against everyone else who plays the game. I wonder if that's true. Because that'd be dope. Oh my gosh, like kind of like a ghost system to being like, okay, well, how did everyone else sort of do? And like, now the brain's firing. Now I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see what more about this game. I want to know more about it. This is, oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Me too. Well, I guess we're going to intro the next trailer. We have more trailer reveals for you right now. Next up, new gameplay and new feature trailers. Let's take a hot look.
Yes.
Hi there, I'm Simon Bennett from award-winning studio Roll7, and this is our new game, Ollie Ollie World. It's a bold new action platformer that's bursting with personality, with a cartoon-inspired art style, approachable yet deep mechanics, and a slick soundtrack to boot. But who are you in all of this? Well, we're excited to reveal today that you can be whoever you want to be. For the first time in the series, you can fully customize your character, from your body type and skin tone to your dress sense and skateboard. You have full control, so you can choose the vibe that suits you. But of course, it's more than just picking the right moustache. From Drake's functional workwear to the eco-friendly gear from Twiggy's, as well as tie-dye stone threads from Face Melter, there are hundreds of different clothing items to choose from. Unlock and combine as you explore Ollie Ollie World. Want to skate in your flip-flops? We got you covered. Want to wear a bumblebee onesie? Alright, no worries. In Ollie Ollie World, as long as you're on a board, anything goes. But that's not all. We're also giving you the ability to shape how you skate and the kind of style you have. Go retro with loads of old school grabs, play it steezy with a running start, or take the high road with your rival pose. All of this combines to allow you to really make your character your own and stand out in the community challenge modes with your own personality. And finally, I'm excited to announce that if you play Ollie Ollie World on Xbox Series consoles, then you'll be able to experience the sublime flow state gameplay in up to super smooth 120 frames a second and beautiful 4K resolution. Ollie Ollie World also supports smart delivery and is coming to Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One this winter.
Quit moving around so much, bobblehead.
When are we gonna get another case, Sam?
Okay, don't scream this time. Sam and Max reporting for duty.
You said duty.
We're after the most infamous crime outfit in the city.
Where do we start, Sam?
No idea. Let's go.
When you love what you do, it doesn't even feel like work.
We've got to stop that fiend from hypnotizing anyone else.
Pretty sharp, but gruff.
Don't call me that.
Shouldn't we revel a little?
Our journey to the dark side has just begun.
Wait, available today? Sam and Max remastered? What?
Wait, what? Oh my goodness.
God. Oh.
Inked comes out on the 27th, which is like not too far away, if I can math
That's
correctly.
also true. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. All right. First off, okay.
Wait,
Sam and
sorry,
Max.
sorry.
I remember
Go back
playing
up.
that as a kid.
Really?
Reverse. So Sam and Max Save the World remastered. The fact that it's available today, okay, I'm excited. I think I'm gonna. Not gonna lie. Sorry, folks at Twitch Game. I'm gonna go download it right now. And I'm gonna start
playing it right now in the background.
Yeah, like peace out. I'm out.
Okay, wait. Let's go back to
cool.
RPG time. The very first one. Have you ever played Lost Worlds Beyond the Page?
No, I haven't.
It's an indie game where basically as you play the game, a journal kind of fills up and things you like draw, you create the drawings or the words. And I love those type of games. They're like my favorite. And The Legend of Wright kind of, it looks like that, right? Where at first it was giving me Super Mario vibes. But I love this journal-esque gameplay where things get colored in and reveal themselves as you start playing and exploring more of the page. It's so pretty, and the art style is just fantastic.
Yeah, no, that looks really, really cool. And I mean, I'm always on the lookout for a new sort of like RPG to kind of sink like my time into, and this kind of has like a cool, like if I was bored in school sitting at my desk and I was just sort of like just doodling in my notepad, like that, this is the kind of thing that I just sort of would imagine myself doing, like just coming up with this sort of crazy world that, holy cow, this spread, like this is huge. This looks awesome.
Yeah. The visuals are just so fun too. I love all that. It reminds me of Toy Story a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. You know, it has all these different elements where it's like super refreshing for the eye to see. It looks so fun. It looks super cute, and it looks like it's gonna be a really, really good time. I wonder what the story is. That kid is, and
it's coming this winter, so there we go. We're gonna have
right
some fun games, like indie games, to be able to play in the winter. So I love that. Now let's talk about Ollie Ollie World, because
have you played Ooblets?
No, I haven't.
Okay, oh my goodness, that's another like really great game on Xbox, but this game kind of reminds me of that just a little bit, but it's skateboarding, and I love skateboarding, Steve. I don't know if you know this about me. I've been skating for the last 20 years, so any kind of skateboarding game, sign me up.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, this is kind of giving me, like, I can't skateboard to save my life because being blind, you know, eye-hand coordination or eye-feet coordination doesn't seem to work out too well. But I do remember playing like Tony Hawk and all that back in the day. So like, and even I think there was like even playing skate for a little bit. So this kind of gives me kind of like a nice cartoon like 90s vibe.
A little bit like Rocket Power. KC22 says it's Ooblets meets Tony Hawk. Definitely.
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
And then like Sam and Max too. Like that remaster.
Oh, and Inked.
I'm just like really, really excited.
Inked.
Inked too. Yeah.
That's gonna make me cry. That's gonna make me ugly cry, and I'm here for it. I love a good game that makes me ugly cry. All right.
That got creepy near the end there. I was like, I was on board. It was like cool, hand drawn. It's from the artist. I'm like, this is gonna be a nice kind of chill time. And then all of a sudden, this hand, like a hand of God, comes out of nowhere and like kidnaps one of your friends. What?
Steve, my butt clenched. Okay, I don't know if I could say that, but it did. All right.
I get it. I get it. I was in there with you. I was like, wait, what? Okay, what's going on? I need to know now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So all right, chat. We're like, and I know, and I get it. A lot of talky, not a lot of gameplay, not a lot of trailers. I understand that. But think of this as also like a reveal trailer, but also a little bit of reaction streams that you see with your friends. So that's kind of what we're in for today. But chat, buckle up, exactly, because we have an amazing guest here. Oh yeah, we're talking big time. Today's showcase is focused on celebrating all the amazing indie games coming to Xbox soon, and Sarah Bond, who is the head of creator experience at Microsoft, will be joining us in a moment to share her thoughts on this incredible indie dev program. Before we say hello, let's take a look at all the amazing work coming from ID at Xbox.
Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Gosh. Sarah, hello.
That was awesome. Hi, how are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Good. How are you?
I am great. I'm having a great summer, but I just love seeing all of those games. They just, every time I see ID games, it makes me smile.
Me too. Sarah, okay, for anyone who doesn't know, could you tell us a little bit about your role at Microsoft?
Yeah, so I lead game creator experience at Microsoft, which means that my team and we get to manage all the relationships we have with game developers around the world, but we also develop the tools and services that game creators use to make their games.
It's so amazing what you guys do, and I can't tell you how much it means to me as a gamer, because we're showcasing a lot of games from developers who are publishing for their very first time that may not have the platform or the funding to be able to see their dream come to pass. And the ID at Xbox program, it helps accelerate that in such a beautiful way. What excites you most about that fact?
Yeah, there are so many things that I love about ID at Xbox and what it unlocks. You know, game creation is extremely complex, but it's also beautiful because you get to tell a story from a point of view. But it can be hard. It can be hard to break into the industry. And that's one of the reasons why we created ID at Xbox, is to make it possible for any dev to have an idea, to create it and bring it to Xbox, because that means that we get to hear their stories and it creates enormous opportunity for them. So that montage you just saw, you know, what I loved about it is the games look amazing, but it showcases developers from around the world, developers from different backgrounds, all-female-led studio, non-binary devs, a solo African-American developer. And that, I think, is incredible because those are voices that today aren't as represented in our industry as we would like, and they get to actually come to console for the first time with ID at Xbox.
I love that because you mentioned in regards to like diverse developers, like there's a wide variety of devs out there from everything from AAA to indie, and I love what ID at Xbox is doing. Like even from my side, like I come from the accessibility side, seeing kind of what Xbox has been able to provide developers in regards to accessibility guidelines and play testing and all that stuff. And it seems that like Xbox provides a lot of resources and tools for developers to try to be able to make kind of their dream game how they wanted to. So what role does ID at Xbox play when supporting those independent game creators and get their games published within Xbox?
Yeah, I love that you point that out. So ID at Xbox is this incredible program. You can, if you want to make a game, if you're a game developer, you aspire to make a game, all you have to do is go to id@xbox.com, the website. You can register. Once you're registered, you get to communicate with our team. And when you have your game concept, you submit your game concept. And when the game concept is approved, we give you the tools that you need to make that game. So you'll get 2 free dev kits, you get full access to the SDK and all of the guidelines to make your game. And then at the end of the cycle, when your game is complete and you're ready to submit, you can submit the title, get it certified and published, and also continually be able to update that title for free on our platform. So it really makes the process of publishing a game very, very easy and self-service for all developers globally.
I love that. And so, like, with all of the games that we're announcing today, as well as what you've kind of already previously been announced, like just even that hype trailer, which is so awesome. What, like, for you personally, what is like ID at Xbox's proudest accomplishment to date?
Gosh, that's a hard one.
I know. It's hard, like trying to pick your children.
I know, like it's really hard. It's probably one of the parts of my job that I love most, just because of what we get to see and all the incredible experiences. But I would just say that, since ID at Xbox has launched, we've actually brought more than 2,000 games to Xbox, and game developers have made over $2 billion in revenue from the ID at Xbox program. And that just makes me just so joyful, because this is opportunity that otherwise wouldn't exist for developers. They're games that get to be experienced by players that might have never otherwise seen the world. And I just love that part of the program, and I can't wait to see it continue.
I love that, and also keeping kind of expanding on that a bit. Like we've seen like indies make like a huge splash in the industry over the past few years, and even more so over the course of this past year within the pandemic, when people are just trying to find games to be able to play. So, are you surprised that the indie game space has captured worldwide attention and also huge fan bases?
I mean, honestly, not at all. When I first started in this role, that was one of the things that really attracted me to it. There are games and brands that we all know and love, but in the indie space, you continuously see just creations, experiences, technological breakthroughs that are at the forefront of the industry. And I love that people are seeing that more, enjoying it more. It's a part of our industry that we've been embracing more and more. And I also have loved all that we've been able to do with indies through Game Pass, which has really accelerated the ability for them to be discovered and played globally. So for me, it's something that I think is only going to become bigger, especially as we develop more and more tools and services that really democratize game development and make it possible for teams of all sizes to create their vision fully.
I think you touched on something that I absolutely love, and I know that you are like obviously a huge fan of Game Pass. I am as well, for accessibility purposes, because it allows us to be able to kind of have that the day of the demos again, which is so cool. You can download a game, try it out. If it doesn't work for you, you can delete it and try a different one. And I love that sort of like you're using kind of like indies and at Xbox to kind of like really push the Game Pass forward. So how is that working with Game Pass with the indie studios to try to like kind of combine the two together, kind of make like this amazing experience for developers?
Yeah, I mean, developers do love Game Pass. It's a great service for players, like you said, because you get to try games, but it's also a great service for developers, and particularly indie developers, because it drives discovery. So we see that games that go into Game Pass, engagement in those games goes up about 8 times versus otherwise, and people who subscribe to Game Pass play about 40% more games, and they play way more genres because people are willing to try something they wouldn't as others before. And because indies, by their very nature, are most often something we haven't seen before, something creative and new, it's hugely valuable to them. I think it's really changed how a lot of us think of gaming, because before, people might say, look, I'm only gonna buy 1 or 2 games from a brand I know. Now with Game Pass, with a monthly subscription, you can try all of these games and continue to explore and learn and see things that are new and exciting.
It's also so cool, the marketing behind ID at Xbox. These indie developers, they can have a really good idea and a cool game, but it could go up on Steam and no one ever gets to play it or see it. And you guys have such a great platform to be able to showcase and sell the game to people who might not normally play it. That's been my favorite thing. I love going through and watching the trailer. I love the showcases. They're just like kind of my absolute favorite thing. So my final question for you is, how do developers get involved at ID at Xbox? How do they make their dream game come true? And how do you guys help them?
Look, I mean, just reach out. It seems amazing that it's that simple, but if you go to id@xbox.com, you register, you get to talk to our team, we'll lean in and help you. And I love the other thing you mentioned, because the help it starts with developing the game, but we also are really committed to marketing our ID at Xbox games. We love having them in the E3 showcase. We love having live streams with them. We love showcasing them on the Dash, bringing them into Game Pass, and really enabling these developers to be successful. But the first step is easy, which is just reach out and register with us so that we can start working together.
I love that. You're making dreams come true, and I get new games to play. So thank you so much, Sarah.
A game?
I'm thinking about it. I kid you not. I was thinking about it yesterday. I have a couple games in my noggin, and I'm like, hey. Okay,
I love
Sarah.
that.
All right, Sarah. Check your email. Okay, I'm coming. Thank you so much for joining us.
Exactly.
Thank you very much,
Sarah,
guys.
thank you
Take
so
care.
very much. You're the ultimate badass at Xbox, and I love it to be able to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Steve, did you hear that?
I love Sarah.
Sarah said we're friends now, basically.
Oh my gosh! I could be friends with Sarah Bond. That's so cool.
I guess we're friends. I said I'm friend, but it is like, I think it was, there was something there, right?
Yeah, there was something. Yeah, I felt it too. I felt the friendly vibes for sure.
Yeah. So now I just need
Okay.
to work on that email. Just got to submit that.
The introductory email, yeah. Have coffee with tea, whatever. I like that. Cool.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Exactly. I like this brainstorming. Cool. Well, thank you so much again to Sarah for joining us today. We have more trailer reveals for you right now. Next up, new gameplay and new features trailers. Let's take a look.
Yes.
There's stuff happening. Oh, keep react. Okay, you know what? Take a pause. We had a bit of technical difficulties in there. Just to let you know, it's okay. We're trying to build.
Steve, I disappeared.
I just disappeared. Oh no!
It's not even Monday. It's Tuesday, and my computer just was like, you know what? We're just gonna hack things up.
Yeah, it just didn't want to work well and play with others. So
that ever happened to you, where things just don't go how they're supposed to? Technology fails you, and you're just like,
it happens. It happens. It totally happens. It's all good. So instead of entry trailers, we're actually gonna jump into a really, really cool gameplay segment. So up next, we have That Bronze Girl is going to be joined by another Twitch gaming regular, Okadrian. You've seen him here before for a live. I love him too. For a live gameplay demonstration of Eon Drive with the dev team. Eon Drive, an action platformer with a speedrunning twist. In Eon Drive, you can rush through cyberpunk landscapes of Neo Barcelona while using time and space bending abilities to get ahead. Before we welcome the Eon Drive team and our playtester Okadrian to the ID at Xbox showcase, let's take a look at the trailer.
Ooh.
We're through. Let's get to it. Wait, who are you?
Hello, I am That Bronze Girl, and I'm here with Okadrian. We are going to be speaking with the devs of Eon Drive today. How's everyone feeling?
Fine, thanks.
Hello.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Hello.
So, I'm sorry, I think I might have a little bit of a delay. So we got to take a look at some of the gameplay for Eon Drive that Okadrian was running through. Eon Drive is set in Neo Barcelona. Can I ask what the inspiration for this location was?
Well, that was pretty easy. Most of the team is from Barcelona, from the actual Barcelona city. So we wanted to kind of bring a parallel version of our city and show it to the world in a different light, right?
Fantastic. The soundtrack was also absolutely amazing. Do you have any touchstones for what inspired you for the music, or any artists you were excited to work with?
Yeah, we've been working with Music Vortex. He's a composer in the Netherlands and has created the whole soundtrack for Eon Drive. It's mostly synth based. We try to go for this kind of cyberpunk type of vibe, and but it was at one point we decided as well to mix in a bit of retro music from the 80s, so pop music from the 80s. So if you pay attention to the soundtrack, you may hear some tunes that remind you of that. We also have one special track that's been done by special guest Megan McDuffie, where we have voice as well. She sings in the song, and yeah, that's really it.
Fantastic. I saw that there's like a Discord integration, and that there's the ability to play co-op as well as competitively. Do you mind going into that a little bit on how that works?
Yeah, once the game launch, there will be the mode to play the campaign in co-op, so you can play with up to 3 friends, so that would make 4 of you. You can play through the story together. And there will also be a PvP mode where you can go and race all the tracks and see who wins.
Fantastic. You know, with games like these, I find sometimes, like with side-scrolling platformers, they're very difficult. But it seems like the protagonist actually has some special powers at her sort of whims to help you get through the level. Do you mind going into that a little bit about how that works?
Yeah. This is Jack. You can see her now. She will have her trustworthy sword to slice some enemies along the way, and her teleportation dagger that you can use. We will see it now. There you go. She can use it to teleport through, well, space and time. All the levels feature a 30-second timer, but you can add time to the clock. So even though it's like focus on speedrunning and beating the timer, we also wanted to cater for people that want a more, relaxed approach. They want to enjoy it to a certain extent. So you can add a little bit of time to the 30 seconds and take a little bit more to complete each level.
Yeah. How does the co-op affect that at all? Do you still have 30 seconds? Are there ways for you to add time to like your team timer?
It will work the same. You can add the time on the regular mode of the game if you choose to do it in co-op. And for the race, it's through laps. So, for example, you will have customization. You can select how many laps you want, and the first one to complete the full circuit will get the first place.
Fantastic. It looks like Ocadrian might be running into some issues there, but Ocadrian, you do play a lot of retro games. What do you think the speed running potential of a game like this is?
It's exciting because I'm gonna tell you what, I won't look at the rankings chart unless I'm top 100, right? But I like the idea of playing fast and trying to beat this because it gives you incentive to do your best, and like I can do that faster, I can do it better, and even if you can't upgrade yourself to the top 100, you can ask your friends, how fast did you beat that? 12 seconds? Cool, I did 9, and then never play it again. That level.
Just go for the perfect run.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go out while you're on top. Now, from my understanding, Eon Drive follows this woman who's trapped on a planet and has to collect all the drive cores. Do you mind going into the story just a little bit? Who is she? Where is she from? And why is she here?
Well, Jacqueline is our protagonist, and from a narrative point of view, she's arriving to this alternative Earth after the story that was told in our first game in Dimension Drive. Dimension Drive was a shooter in space. It had nothing to do with the gameplay that you see here. But the story picks up right after that. So after Dimension Drive, she goes through a portal after a big explosion, and then eventually she winds up crash landing in this new Earth. And while she's crash landing, the engine of the ship kind of breaks apart, and all the different cores that power you up go in different places in the city. And the problem is that they are unstable now, and if you don't retrieve them and bring them back to the spaceship in time, the whole city will explode and most likely take out the planet even.
Oh, so that's where the 30-second timer comes in from. Fantastic. Adrian, do you mind going into some of the tools you have at your disposal to get through the level a little bit faster?
Yeah, no problem. So I can throw my little sword dagger right there. I cannot talk and game at the same time. I just figured out 5 seconds ago. But I have my little dagger I can throw to help me get across maps faster. Also, as you can see, when you're falling down a pit, it's nice to have that dagger in place so it can save you last second. but it allows you to teleport to different things. When these mechanical features in the way, you press the X button, get rid of those. If you're running low on time, press the Y button, and the capsules you have stored in the upper right-hand corner restore your time. How am I not even? There's no one else in the leaderboard except me, and I'm not even like top 10. How does that happen?
Well, this is a special version of a build just for you. So
I'm not even top 10
You'll
in
be
my own
forever
build.
first on this build.
yeah.
Thank you. It's really
Speaking
cool.
of that sort of time warping, Adrian, do the devs mind going into some of like what is the unique time warping mechanic in Eon Drive?
Yeah, it's basically what Adrian was explaining, that we wanted to make the level built for speed running from the ground up, right? So from the very moment that we started developing, we thought we want to have all the levels on a 30-second timer, and all the levels should be possible to complete in that time. But then we thought we want to give also accessibility to players that may not be able to complete a level in 30 seconds, or they want to play more chill, right? So we added this idea of you pick up collectibles around the level, these time capsules, and they accumulate on your timer at the top. And whenever you want, you can just press Y, and if you have enough time capsules, you can grant yourself 5 extra seconds. So that gives you a bit of a less of a challenge and allows you to complete a level that maybe is too difficult for you at that time, or you just want to simply take it more calmly, right? Obviously, if you do that, you will do a very poor time, and there goes your competition in the leaderboards.
Right. Eon Drive kind of seems like the game that, because I'm not very good at side-scrolling platformers, to be completely honest. I have to. That's why Okadrian's playing and not me. But one of the things I find interesting is so you can. It seems like you can go for perfection and go for a great time. But if you hit a hard wall, you can still use these different mechanics to kind of increase or lower the difficulty. Am I getting at that right?
Yeah, that's basically what we were going for. So everyone can enjoy the game at their own pace, and there's definitely enjoyment for the casual player and for the ones that really want to grind the leaderboards and get that #1 spot.
Fantastic. I absolutely love just the little bit of the levels we've seen here. They're beautiful. What were some of the inspirations or challenges when you were designing these levels?
Well, from a gameplay design point of view, which is my fault because I'm the designer, I would not enter too much into the art side, maybe later. But from a gameplay design point of view, what we wanted was to give you that feeling of kind of like a labyrinth of a maze where you have to search your way around. It's not your typical left to right linear platformer where you just go forward and there's your exit. You have to really navigate and find your way around, and there are different paths and several secrets and shortcuts, and sometimes what we tried as well was to make sometimes the hardest path is actually the fastest, but it's very hard to pull off, right? So in a way it goes tight, hand in hand with that idea of giving players a challenge that's suitable to their needs, and so they can find a route that they say, okay, this path is fine for me and I can make it, but I see another one that is up there and probably is faster, but it's full of spikes and saws and enemies, and I'm not gonna make it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw Adrian just go through one of those. Adrian, how are we faring on the shortcut?
So there's been a couple of moments of I wonder if I can do that, and then a couple of moments of it turns out I can't do that. And so I've been experimenting with that. Also, the timing on the walls is really, really good too. I swear, I'm better than what it looks like right now. But the game is really fun in terms of the idea of where do you want to go and how do you want to get there, right? As we know right now, at least it looks like it's a left to right. But the idea of which left to right do you want to go to get over there, I really enjoy that the entire time. And I feel like the hitboxes on the saw blades and different mechanical devices they're generous. They're not way out there, it seems like, which I was scared of.
Fantastic. Would you say that you could see yourself like trying to perfect this level over time?
Yeah, absolutely, because I get mad if the smallest thing happens. Especially, I wasn't kidding earlier. If a friend's like, hey, did you play this? Yeah, I did. How'd you do? Oh, I beat your time by 1 second. I will legit log back in and farm until I get my second back. So, absolutely.
Fantastic. I love it. So you said with the power sword, you can throw it to teleport, and you can break barriers or enemies with it?
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Where did... Oh, sorry.
No, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious about the protagonist. Where did she get a power sword? Are we going to learn more about, like, sort of her background through the story of this game? I know you said it's a continuation from another game.
Yeah, actually the idea of the power sword, of the dagger, the teleportation dagger, and where it's coming from in the story is told at the very start of the game. So even if you have not played our previous game, you will not miss anything narrative-wise. So I would prefer not to spoil it, but it's right at the very start after the first tutorial where they explain how she gets that dagger.
Mm-hmm. Perfect, fantastic.
Let's say it's a bit funny because it's more than a dagger, and you will find out why if you play it.
I'm excited to play the beginning now, because knowing me, I'm not as good as Adrian at 2D side scrolling
1,000% not
platformers.
true. Are you kidding me? You grade everything you touch.
So I hope it's at the beginning, because I might get stuck there. But it seems like there's a lot of ways to adjust the difficulty to help you get through. Are there other mechanics on top of the time mechanic to that kind of help that difficulty slider kind of move back and forth?
Basically, like we were mentioning before, there's different paths that you can take. Each level has more than a way of getting to the finishing line. So if you find yourself always dying in the same obstacle, not really getting through, you can try and experiment with different ways to beat a certain level. And also with the PvP mode, you can then embrace a more, party game almost side of it. We've been having a lot of fun with testing it internally. And it turned into a bit of a friendly competition between us at the studio. So if you ever feel stuck in the single player, you can either summon a friend to help you, or you can go to the PvP mode and enjoy a little bit more of a party game type of feel.
When's this come out?
Okay, thank you so much for telling us about Eon Drive. This game is fantastic. Would you like to leave our audience with any last words about something you feel like they need to know about the game?
Well, just that if they like it, they may check it out. There's a demo available now and on Xbox, and just that we hope they like it, and they get to play the game later in fall when we release.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. Eon Drive looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Oh, that looks so cool! Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much to the folks over at to Eon Drive, and thank you so much to Adrian. We got it. Like you tried your best, bud. We were watching. We were rooting for you.
Did you see him just sink? Like the gameplay wasn't even showing. I just wonder what exactly happened. You just bitched so hard.
Oh my gosh. So Megan, what did you think of Eon Drive?
It looks like so much fun. Listen, I grew up playing a lot of platformers as a kid. Mega Man was like my first crush ever. So those kind of games are just super nostalgic for me. I could just, like, my brain does something. I can dial in and just go through and jam, no problem. What about you, Steve? What do you think?
It looked actually really cool. Like, I love cyberpunk. That's kind of like one of my favorite genres. The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time. And
nice.
It's kind of had that plus Celeste kind of vibes to it.
Yes,
and I
Celeste,
loved,
exactly.
Yeah. It just had it had like a really, really awesome vibe to it, and I love that this is going to be a game for speedrunners. Like, this feels like it's like, okay, you know what? One more round, another 30 seconds. Let's see if we really try to beat my time. Like, I love that so much.
Yeah, no, me too. I feel like people are going to have a lot of fun with it, especially the PvP mode they were talking about. That's a new element, and I like where they're going with it.
Yeah, well, and I love the call out for accessibility. It just warms my heart to be able to hear that, especially with the ability, like, yes, 30 seconds, that's kind of a very finite time, but being able to pick up those kind of like time capsules to add extra time for you, so it's not as a difficult experience. I love that at least that devs are thinking about that, and it just warms this blind gamer's heart.
I love that too. Gaming is for everyone, and I love that everybody is like bringing more attention to it and making that possible. Okay, so up next, we have another exclusive trailer for you. Let's take a look at the big con.
Hi, I'm Dave Proctor, founder of Mighty L Studios. Our new game, The Big Con, is a cross-country 90s adventure about Allie, a teenage girl doing petty crimes to save her mom's video store from loan sharks. Last time we showed you auditions from award-winning video game actors bringing depth and range to our, let's call it, economical voiceover script.
Dialogue. It's like 13 words.
Today, we're going to reveal some very exciting casting choices. Every character Allie meets in The Big Con is lovingly handcrafted with 90s charm and artisanal quirkiness. From charismatic con artists to peckish mall security to skateboarding ghosts, our best-in-class dialogue demands the apex of voice talent. But first, a very special announcement. The Big Con is available for pre-order right now on Xbox, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S before it launches worldwide on August 31st. Before we get into our big casting announcement, I also want to congratulate the fans who answered our open casting call to voice our game's NPCs. We watched all of your submissions and were moved by your creativity and passion. You can't hear the word "hey" repeated 1,600 times without feeling something. I am so tired. Anyways, here are some of our winners.
Well.
What?
Really?
And now, the big reveal. We are pleased to announce that our protagonist Allie will be voiced by none other than Erika Ishii. We've been fans of Erika's for a long time now. We're beyond thrilled to work with one of the hardest working and most positive actors in the industry. Erika, anything to add?
Hi, Erika Ishii here. Yeah, I'm just so psyched to be here, you know? Like, there's just something so raw and real about these kinds of characters and this kind of indie game. It's like black box theater, you know? All the prestige, the drama, you create the circumstances and your surroundings. You think about the character and get real deep in their head, only, you get paid.
But that's not all. Also joining Erika in our celebrated voice cast is Dave Fennoy, legendary actor and the voice behind so many iconic video game characters. He'll be playing one of my favorite characters, Rad Ghost.
The entire voiceover is about a dozen words and assorted monosyllabic grunts. Ah, come on, man! What are you trying to do to me?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to pre-order The Big Con today on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox One, and play it at launch on August 31st. We're gonna party like it's 1994.
The Big Con.
Yay!
That's
Let's
so
go,
cool.
Erika! That looks so cool. That looks like something I would rent from Blockbuster.
I know, exactly. Like, I love the 90s vibes. I don't know if you caught it, but the theme song, if you're a 90s kid, you know who this group is. Rockapella from Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. They're doing the theme song for The Big Con for that one. So that's just so cool. The fact that also we got a really cool cast. Erika Ishii, we got Troy Baker, we got Dave Fennoy, legends in the gaming industry. Ah, that's so cool. I love that.
Everyone in chat, press 1 if you're down to play it. I'm gonna pre-order it. I can't wait. I'm gonna be
100%. And it comes out at the end of this month. That's so cool. All right. So coming up, we're about to take a quick break, but let's take a look at the schedule again to see what's coming up. So we've got some cool stuff that's still available. That's still to come for today. We've got. Yeah, we're just getting started. We have just a little bit about an hour left for some really cool stuff. We've got stuff from the Vale, Shadow of the Crown. It's a really cool audio game we're going to be checking out. We've got some other cool trailers and stuff that we haven't seen yet before.
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley. And then we also have a game demo of Space Lines from the Far Out.
And just so many trailer reveals. I'm just not going to be able to contain it. I hope everyone's taking notes, writing down games that they can't wait to play. It's going to be me. I'm going to be playing all of these. But we got a break, right?
Yes. All right. So we'll be right back after a quick break.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Strawberry17 Plays, hanging out with the Blind Gamer Steve, and we have so much fun stuff coming up for you guys. Ain't that right, Steve?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. Hi, I'm Steve Saylor, aka Blind Gamer Steve, and we're just getting started. We're about halfway through. Still got another hour of some really cool trailers. We've got some really cool cool gameplays coming up, and including some more Stardew Valley. And we've also got some Game Pass announcements, folks. That's right, Game Pass announcements. Literally, my favorite words of this year is day one on Game Pass, and I love it so freaking much.
I'm so excited for that. I gotta tell you, Game Pass is like my Netflix. So whenever I'm like in a mood, I go to Game Pass and I just peruse, download 3 games, and just, live my best life. So
yeah,
more games.
Not gonna lie. I was during the Xbox showcase at E3 this year. I was almost drunk, seeing all the amount of times they said day one on Game Pass. 27 new games coming out to Game Pass, and that's really awesome. But today, that's just Xbox in general. Today we're talking about indies at for the ID at Xbox, and so we're going to jump into a game right now that I've known about for a while, but I'm really, really excited to finally be able to sit down with this developer. Our next guest is the director of the Vale: Shadow of the Crown, an audio-based action-adventure game that places you in the worn leather boots of a blind adventurer. The Vale is an incredible interactive experience that'll impress visually impaired and sighted gamers alike. Before we meet Dave Evans, let's take a look at the trailer.
Escort the blind girl 500 miles down a treacherous valley in the wake of an invading horde. Not sure what reward would be worth that.
Pirates.
Coming aboard.
The Shades were fortunate to gain hold over such a creature.
Alex, your weapon. It's on fire.
I know you can use the damn thing. That swinging girl.
In the dark, you shine, Alex.
Every one of us serves the Fae. Whether we know it or not, I will not serve them. That is why you must die.
Adriana told me you were coming. A blind princess, doomed to watch her kingdom burn.
If you want the kingdom, you will have to take it from me yourself.
From one second born to another, it's not an easy thing, being in someone's shadow.
I like the shadows.
Not gonna lie, I've got a little bit verklempt, a little bit emotional in that. I am just so excited. Megan will be back in just a second, but I'm going to be sitting down with Dave Evans. Dave, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, really nice to be here. Nice to meet you, Steve. Finally,
yes.
I've been watching your career as well at the same time. It's been great.
I gotta, okay, revelation chat. Hometown represent St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, my hometown, and Mighty Yell's hometown. I love that so much, and I feel like I've kind of heard about the Vale for a while now, and it being an audio only game, I've been interested in wanting to try it out. And when the game came out last year as a demo for Summer Game Showcase, Summer Game Fest, I downloaded immediately and I played it, and I've probably played it several times now. It's really truly an amazing audio experience. So, Dave, my first question for you is, what was the inspiration behind that sort of creating an audio narrative for the game?
Yeah, as an indie dev, I have limited resources, and my first reason for making the game was relatively pragmatic. I was trying to think of an inexpensive way I could really work with story, and it wasn't soon before I realized I might have something in doing it in all audio that might be accessible and interesting to the blind community. and that's where everything started with a trip to the CNIB in Canada. That's the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, and basically partnered up with the blind community from the beginning to make this game. But it started for fairly selfish reasons, to be honest. I just wanted to make a game I could afford to make.
I love that. And now you're from Falling Squirrel Studios. I apologize, I called you Mighty Yell. That was from the Big Con, another Toronto amazing Canadian developer that we just saw earlier. What is Falling Squirrel's connection to the blind and low vision communities? You mentioned the CNIB, which I'm a big proponent of and a member of. So how did that work when trying to be able to look into developing the game?
Well, I mean, they were my first focus testing group, in a strange way, the evolution of this game over the last 5 years really is about myself and this community making a game for everyone. It sort of, to me, lost its. It wasn't as important of the accessibility aspect as it was that it's a chance for me to showcase an audio-based game made by a community who's very familiar with them. So they were my first instructors and teachers on how to make this game. So we had live testing groups where I got feedback, made friends. There was a person at the CNIB, Martin Carcels, who is an avid gamer, and he became one of my many consultants on the project. So for me, it was the beginning of a relationship with the community and the development of game.
I love that, and I know that there's definitely some sort of like, obviously for those who may not need it, like for those that's in the blind community, having an audio game is something that there's a few audio games out there, and there's some amazing, if you search on Google, there's some amazing audio games. But like the Vale is kind of like something that just kind of appeals to me in that if you're interested in kind of like, have you ever heard old time radio shows, or think of this as like a very like and it's very bare bones, like an interactive audio book, but like it's that kind of vibe, and I want to talk about actually kind of the audio engineering and sort of the cast that you have in there, because it is like there's some amazing sort of soundscapes and obviously voice acting in this. Did you approach that from like a kind of like an audio sort of old time radio sort of vibe to it when you first sort of kind of were thinking about the story?
Well, two things. One is I used to work in AAA as a cinematographer and a motion capture and audio director. So my first place to go was AAA sound design from a casting and performance perspective. So I just pretended I was making a Naughty Dog game or any kind of big action adventure game, and really didn't compromise on the casting and that sort of thing. So that was my starting point, was film sensibilities and AAA sensibilities. But then as I made the game, I realized that there was a layer that's novel and different, which is the intimacy. And that's where I think it does play out more like what you see in podcasts now, narrative-based podcasts or old school radio shows. There's something about having an actor standing in front of you, or feeling like they're in, your companion is literally whispering in your ear, and enemies are literally breathing around you. And that novelty was very different than how you usually make a AAA production where you're really supporting visuals. This just allowed us to do things I'd never considered doing before, like having someone whisper in your ear, breathe in your ear, or create moments of intimacy like we have in this game.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you definitely want to be able to play this with headphones on, because there is just an amazing sort of 3D kind of audio landscape that y'all kind of like created, which is so cool. And here's actually a question from the chat. Can you actually explain how the gameplay works, and how do players actually play the game?
Yeah, there are two major components. As in many action adventures, there's an element of action, which is supplied by combat, which there's several different scenarios for combat. The most popular one is basically combat in place, where you're standing and hearing a 3D soundscape, or really a 180-degree soundscape. Enemies very kindly don't stand directly behind you. And you can hear enemy movement, you can hear the attacks that they're about to do, and it's directional swing, stick swinging, and timing and pattern recognition, like a Mike Tyson Punch-Out or something like that. And then the other aspect of the game is the exploration aspect. So when you walk into a village to find quests or buy items or explore the world, you're left into a 3D environment where you can hear little details in the soundscape. The ones you really are really important, like the beacons, like the tavern or something else, like a blacksmith. They're very obvious and easy to navigate to. And then everything else is rewards for people willing to carefully listen. The dog begging in the corner, you can go and feed him and he becomes a companion. You can get quests from people, sort of like this old woman washing clothes down by a dock, and if you go up to her, you can get a quest from her. So it's a balance of discovery, rewarding discovery, and just enjoying moving around, navigating in complete audio.
I love that, and as someone who's played it, like, it's kind of one of those really cool things when you're kind of in this sort of town, and you you sort of hear different sort of like merchants kind of calling out to people in the crowd around you, and you hear like the blacksmith, and you can just kind of turn, sort of like using the thumbs to kind of turn your character, and you can be able to kind of like walk towards it. It just uses audio to kind of like navigate, and it can seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but like when you kind of like sort of take the time to kind of like listen to certain things, you can kind of like just explore, which is something that's really, really cool in just an audio only game. So one final question I actually do have for you, in like, it's obviously this seems like a very kind of narrative experience. In terms of replayability, what is there to keep gamers going back to the Vale for more?
Yeah, the big one for me anyway is we have a very hard mode in this game. So my recommendation is to play the game. There is some branching narrative. There are aspects of the game that force you to make some minor decisions. But the main aspect of replay, I think, is to go back and try the hard mode. I do not recommend starting with the hard mode in the game, but it's one of those things where once you get very, very comfortable playing the game, it's something people should try. So that to me is probably the biggest reason to go back, is challenge yourself. And by the way, this was demanded by the blind community to make it very, very hard. I think they may have been disappointed by other things in the past that weren't quite difficult enough. So be warned, hard mode is hard.
I love that, and that's something that like not a lot of people sort of even like a lot of people understand in regards to accessibility. It's like when we want to have accessibility in games, we don't want to lose that challenge. We still want to have the same challenge as every other player has, and some of our friends have when they play. We just want to be able to have at least some of the barriers kind of taken away. So, like for myself, I played it on normal, and there was a challenge in there too. But I'm like, now I'm curious to kind of see what the hard mode is like. So I'm really interested in that. So, Dave, thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find more information about the Vale? When is it coming out? Any details you can be able to offer our chat?
Yeah, it's coming out this August 19th. And fallingsquirrel.com, the website, you can check us out there. But it's going to be available on the Xbox day one, August 19th. So that's where you should be looking, I think.
Fantastic. I can't wait to be able to play this on the full game on Xbox. Once again, thank you, Dave, so much for joining us. I'm a little emotional about it, but I appreciate you so much, and I can't wait to be able to rep our hometown and being able to play this game for everyone. It's well done, sir. Well done.
Yep. Thanks, Steve.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So in a moment, Megan is going to be rejoining me on the ID at Xbox Showcase. But before that, we have some more trailer reviews for you right now. Next up, the moment we've all been waiting for. Here are the games that are coming to Game Pass. Let's take a look.
My own demise was the only way to free myself. I too was a slave, a tool used by the Akatsuchi in their conquest of the land, but not anymore. Death led me to the place where I belong. We need to find the key to our disease. Free ourselves from this curse. Our enemies have already enslaved countless of our kind. We must liberate them all. Our time has come. The time of the Kurutsuba clan.
Years. For 100 years, we have been plagued by this war. We fight, we sacrifice, we die. Before us, a host of monstrosities, and behind us, all of Galarian, our world. Their master, the Demon Lord Daskari, thinks he can break our spirit. He is mistaken. We did not yield when our cities burned, when our fortresses were turned to dust, and our comrades, our brothers and sisters in arms, valiantly met their deaths. We have suffered through many a plight, and now it is our turn to strike. To arms, brothers and sisters! I declare that the Fifth Crusade has begun, and it is you who will lead us in this war. Duty calls to you. Prove your worth as a leader. Hone your skills and abilities. Ready your best armor and weapons for battle. Mount your trusty war steed and charge forth, and we shall follow. This will be a daunting task, I know, but you need not fight alone. Your faithful companions will stand by your side. They will protect you in battle, aid you with their counsel, share the burden of commanding the crusade, accept their friendship, and become their friend in turn, or possibly something more. I understand the trials ahead of you are great. You will have to find your own path. What will be the source of your power? The righteous might of heaven? Or the secrets of forbidden magic? Will you make your sacrifices in the name of freedom and equality, or in the name of law and order? Will your enemies flee at the very sight of you, or will you, perhaps, turn this entire war into a grand joke on a cosmic scale? Choose carefully. Your every decision has its consequences and its price. But most importantly, never doubt that Galarian believes in you, and I believe in you as well. Do you feel the ground shaking? That is the march of your army. Lead them, aim them at their target, crush our enemies. We are crusaders. We are the wrath of the righteous. The stakes have never been higher. We did not seek out this war. It invaded our home, and our world now depends on you, and you alone.
Rated everyone. Product not yet rated.
We will crush them.
Wunderbar.
Yes, idiots.
Faster, faster, faster!
I want that minion dead.
You're nothing.
Hey!
Pip, pip. Time to earn my keep.
Scanning.
Kill them!
Prepare the venom and let the madness begin.
This is why we love ID at Xbox. We have dogs who skateboard, and you get to make them have eyelashes.
Yep, exactly. And then you get to be an evil genius, and you get to also be like an amazing ninja, and you get to like play in one of the greatest TTRPGs other than D&D. We got Pathfinder, Pillars of Eternity vibes. I'm so in.
I just really love the world that we're living in right now. I'm just gonna say that. Blind Gamer Steve, you're gonna be rejoining us in just a second, but right now I am honored to welcome to the ID at Xbox Showcase the creator of Stardew Valley, Eric Barone, aka Concerned Ape. And if you've been living under a rock for the last few years and aren't familiar with Stardew Valley, well, here's a trailer. you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I never thought this moment would happen where I'd be talking to you, and I'm not gonna make this weird. I promise. I'm not gonna be too big of a fangirl, but I have sunk like over 1,000 hours into Stardew Valley, and it's what inspired me to start getting into pixel art. So I'm sure you share this stuff all the time, but you're an inspiration to so many people, and you've created a game that is just, it's so special. When you released it, obviously you were anticipating this type of, feedback, but what was that feeling like? That you worked on this by yourself for so long, and then you released it out into the world, and we're like, well, they like it. We'll see what happens. I'm proud of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it totally blew my mind. I mean, as you say, I had no idea the game was going to be so popular. I thought it would be like a really niche game for people who are fans of Harvest Moon like me.
Yeah.
And I guess it struck a chord with people, but I had no idea. So it really blew my mind. It took me a while, many years, to get used to, how popular Stardew Valley was and how many people seemed to really love it. But it's amazing. I mean, I'm so glad people like it.
Yeah. You created like this really nice home for people to come back to. I grew up playing a lot of Nintendo as a kid, so having those games that you just you spent so much time with almost feels like a distant family member or like a best friend. I feel like Stardew is that for so many people. They can sink all these hours into it, take a break, and then come back and be like, yes, I'm home.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I played a lot of RPGs, and I feel like most of the RPGs send you on this big grand adventure where you leave your home and travel all around the world on a big adventure. But I always was more drawn to Harvest Moon because it was kind of domestic. Like, you made a home for yourself, you stayed at home, and then there was a lot of depth to the home that you were living in. And so for some reason that just really resonated with me, and I wanted to capture that feeling and, hopefully give a new generation of people that same magic that I felt as a kid when I was playing Harvest Moon.
I think you've succeeded. I think another thing that makes Stardew Valley so special is all the people. Do you have a favorite character in town? Like, who do you marry?
I can't pick a favorite character.
You can't? Yeah.
No, I think the other characters would get jealous if I picked a favorite.
Okay, that's fair. Can you guess mine? I'm throwing it up there.
Let me guess. Abigail?
Oh my gosh, how'd you know?
Is that true?
Yes, it's Abigail. How did you know? I'm like warring with my friend. We have a co-op and we're wooing her.
It's just intuition. I don't know.
The vibes. Yeah. I have Abigail vibes.
I guess so, yeah.
Oh my goodness. You just killed me right now. Let's talk about bigger picture, just real quick. How did you ever expect Stardew to make such an impact on the gaming industry? Because now there's so many games that are in the same vein, just like Harvest Moon inspired you. People are looking at Stardew Valley and they're like, yes, this is beautiful. What's my take on it?
No, I had no idea, but I mean, it's really cool. I feel like I'm continuing a tradition that, Yasuhiro Wada started with Harvest Moon. Or at least that's my hope. I would like to continue that tradition and to see, a new generation of game developers, bringing that tradition even further and expanding on it with new ideas and new things is great. It's really cool to be a part of that. And I'm glad to see the genre really taking off.
No, it's great. These are the kind of games that I live for. Are there any other farming type games that also that you love playing that have come out recently? Or, I imagine you're a pretty busy dude.
It's true. I am pretty busy. I haven't had a lot of chance to play a lot of the games that people call Stardew Valley inspired games. I played some Slime Rancher for a while, which I wouldn't say is inspired by Stardew Valley. It was being developed in parallel, but I feel like it also is a bit of that kind of resource gathering, kind of home base sort of game.
Yeah,
that I thought was pretty cool.
Does it bother you when people call Stardew a farming sim? Because it's so much more. I don't know. Maybe I'm protective. I feel like it's so much more than that. You don't get it.
Nah, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I call it like a country life simulator.
Yeah.
Or like, something like that. But it doesn't really bother me. I mean, people can call it whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, would you ever move into a farm? Or I'm sorry, would you ever move out to a place like Pelican Town? Can you see this being like your retirement plan someday?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that all humans have a call to nature. And maybe that's part of the reason why Stardew Valley resonated with people.
Ooh.
It's a kind of something in the modern world that we don't experience very often,
It's
being
true.
out in nature, being out in the country, living off the land, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but I think it does speak to us on a deep level.
It does, being a stranger in a new place and learning about other people outside of yourself and kind of just getting a new beginning. I think that's something a lot of us, especially with the internet, are like, man, I wonder what it's like for no one to know me and get that fresh start. I sometimes have dreams of like working at a grocery store and just bagging groceries. That's like something I never got to do as a teenager. I worked at a chicken wing place. I did everything else, a skateboard shop, but I was like, when I play Stardew Valley, I'm like, I want to work at JoJo Mart.
I bet someone's working on a grocery bagging simulator as we speak.
Oh my gosh, that's it. I just need to put my VR headset on and then I'll just be in the world and just living my best life. Quick question. You released a bunch of new updates not too long ago. How's the feedback and response been about that? You're just constantly working on this game.
Yeah, it's been great. The most recent update, 1.5, has been I call it the biggest update to Stardew Valley ever, which it is objectively, but it seems like people really loved it, and the game kind of had a new resurgence in popularity after the update came out. So I've been really happy with the response to that. I think the update, it adds a huge amount of stuff to the game, especially the end game. And yeah, it's releasing the updates is kind of like, I'm of the mindset that I could probably continue working on Stardew Valley forever with the amount of ideas I have, and just, I love the world. I love making it better. I feel like it's a never-ending thing I could do to make it better, but, so I just put those ideas in these updates and just keep the game going, and it's been fun.
Well, as a fan and a longtime player, I appreciate all of your hard work, sleepless nights, and probably the extreme amount of coffee you have to sip through, and the way that your brain works, because it's an amazing game, and it's so great to always come back to. But Eric, I hear you have some exciting news about Stardew Valley.
That's true. So I'm happy to announce that Stardew Valley will be coming to Game Pass. There's not a set release date yet, but it's probably sometime in the fall, and it'll be on both Windows and Xbox consoles. So I'm happy to announce that, and I really hope that it brings Stardew Valley to a lot more people, and a lot more people get to play it and experience the world of Stardew Valley.
Co-op, man, let's go, everyone. Get Xbox Game Pass. GTA is leaving, so I just feel like you're going to get all the GTA people just, they're going to start to simmer down and just, start a farm and be like, all right, I like this. Stardew is the way for me. All right, Eric, thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for everything that you do. I don't even know how to say goodbye to you. I just want to keep talking. But thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, and have a great day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
All right, in a moment, I'll be rejoined by Blind Gamer Steve, but before that, there's time, or it is time, for another exclusive trailer. Let's take a look at Library of Ruina.
환영합니다, 손님. 이곳은 도서관. 전 도서관의 관장이자 사서 엔젤라입니다. 이곳에서 당신이 원하는 것을 찾을 수도 있지만 당신의 모든 것을 잃을 수도 있답니다.
그래서 네 말은 이곳에 오는 손님을 접대하면 된다 이거지? 뭐 타물이 된 구급 해결사라도 필요하다면 벤젤라 널 믿어볼 수밖에 없겠네.
부디 당신의 책을 찾으실 수 있기를.
That looks
That
so
was cool.
good, right?
I love it. It's kind of got like some JRPG kind of vibes with some like card-based sort of battle, like man.
I love the Japanese
really cool.
voice acting. Anytime I can like practice my Japanese, I'm always I love to do it. Love to be immersed in it.
Hell yeah, and like for myself personally, usually subtitled games or even subtitled anime is a little bit difficult for me to be able to read. But at least what I loved, at least there was some good, decent sized subtitles. Yeah. So I'm happy about
Steve,
that.
you know what that means, right?
What? What does that mean?
We gotta learn Japanese together because Nihongo ga skoshi wakarimasu. But we can make. Listen, I'm your Uncle Iroh. Remember I told you.
Yes.
You didn't know we were going to start playing indie games, but I'm also going to teach you Japanese as I'm still learning it because I'm only on like chapter 1 of Pimslers. So.
Oh, I love that so much. I knew there was a good reason to be here today.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I got you.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Now let's talk about Stardew Valley for Game Pass. I was in the chat, okay, and I was like, and at first I was kind of like, okay, I understand that the Stardew Valley, big huge game, totally get that. But as the chat was kind of going through, I was following along, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm in. And then it's like, then I started to see like some of the Pelican Town stands, and I'm like, or citizens, and I'm like, I kind of want to play this now. I think y'all kind of sold me on, and it's gonna be coming to Game Pass. I love that.
You could do co-op too. Like you can start a farm with friends and go through the entire story mode and work on all of the achievements and unlockables together. And there's all these secrets, and the narrative is just the storyline is so good. That's why you play it. I could get emotional talking about Stardew Valley. I'm not gonna lie. I travel a lot. Before COVID, I would be traveling all the time. I would be home maybe a week out of the month, and it's just like me and my Nintendo Switch. And Stardew was like my second home. When I felt homesick or was like a little lonely, that's what I would play. So it's special to a lot of people, and I think once you play it, you'll experience that too.
I totally get that. And like I know we're showing a Library of Ruina right now, and like again, this game just kind of looks really, really cool. I love the aesthetic. I love the vibe. Is there like an equivalent type of game, like a JRPG kind of game that you can sort of what am I should be like just looking at this gameplay footage? What should I be expecting when it looks like when I'm going to be playing Library of Ruina?
Chat, what would you say this game kind of if it's kind of similar to? I'm trying to think of the name and it's escaping me. It was on Xbox Game Pass. It's not the Yakuza game. I'm drawing a blank. I've only had half a cup of coffee today, Steve.
That's okay.
Slay the Spire is what someone is saying.
Slay the Spire. Okay. Oh, and I didn't realize that Ruina is actually Korean. Okay, that's cool as well. I think that's actually pretty dope. I love the aesthetic, and you know what? Growing up, I mean, I don't know. Like, I have no idea if this has anything to do with the library, but it's like, okay, growing up, I used to go to the library all the time, and I love the kind of like, I don't know, it just like the story is kind of set in a library or set kind of like around like sort of book learning or just like book reading always kind of appeal to me. And I'm not a huge kind of like this game normally would not appeal to me, but after like looking at this trailer kind of like and the gameplay, I don't know, I think I'm kind of like it's kind of bringing back a little bit of nostalgia as a kid, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Did you play a lot of Final Fantasy?
So I did play a little bit as a kid, but again, it was sort of like, it was kind of hard for me to play. So I did jump into Final Fantasy VII Remake when that came out, and I started to really enjoy it. And I was kind of like trying to be able to look into other sort of games like that, and it seemed like there was a lot of like, everyone kept recommending Persona, everyone kept recommending Final Fantasy VI as well, like it just in that series. So it's like the growing interest is there. Like there's the seed has been planted. It's just I need to kind of like grow that and fertilize it just to kind of like get it like to get to a point where I'm like, I really want to be able to like jump into this kind of genre head on, and maybe, hey, Library Ruina might be the way into that. And oh yeah, and Thermal Wolf actually in the chat, it says he has a bit of like Octopath Traveler vibes. I can understand that. I can totally understand that. And this is a cool idea. So Vinox123 says, can I rent a VHS in that library? I wonder if that's the case too, because I used to rent VHSs all the time from the library.
I love when games
like
have little games within the game. You know, like just like you're like, wait, this is like the game devs just were like, hey, why not? Let's add a little something extra in here.
Yeah, exactly. And Spyro, 100%. Seed of like germination. That's perfect.
Also, games
That's perfect
Korean.
right there.
I was speaking about Japanese. You said JRPG, and my brain just went there. I'm so sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. Hey, I mean, I'm the newbie here, so I apologize for that as well. So that's really cool. All right. So up next, we're going to go right into a gameplay demo. Twitch Gaming regular Snowlit is going to join us for a live gameplay demonstration of the upcoming game Spacelines from the Far Out. And we'll also be joined by the devs. Before we welcome everyone on the ID at Xbox Showcase, let's take a look at the trailer.
This trailer brought to you by Adamdine Gravity Generator. Keep your feet on the ground and your lunch inside your stomach.
Please welcome co-founder of Coffee Knots, Fabio Rosa, and Twitch's very own Snowlit. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Hello,
Hey, guys.
thanks for having us.
That was such a cool. Oh my gosh, I have like oh, this is gonna neat. I love the concept of basically kind of. So I'm taking something that's just a normal day life, you know, just getting on a plane, having like a little bit of an airline, and then if you add space into it, like that's all you need to do. And I'm sold. That's exactly it. Oh my gosh.
Having been so popular this last year, it's just not. I just like keep me in space. I'm a big Trekkie, so you know, and I love Star Wars too. So anytime space is in the equation, I'm like, beam me up. I'm ready.
I love that. So, Fabio, can you tell us about Spacelines? How does it all work?
This game, by the way, is our first game. It started out as a student project, so it's I'm really happy to be here. Thanks, guys. And well, on its surface, it's kind of like it's a retro-futuristic game about the space age of the 60s and the kind of golden Pan Am era of air travel, like you see in like Catch Me If You Can. But so that's on the surface, and at its core, it's a game for people who love that kind of co-op party game experience, but wish it also featured stuff like elements of progression, the ability to unlock stuff, dynamically generated challenges, kind of like a roguelike game. So there are no predetermined levels. You just have to improvise and be the best space flight crew you can be. So I mean, I guess the best way to summarize it is like if it's the love child of Overcooked and Faster Than Light, I'd say.
I love both of those. So, Snowy, are you ready to try a live gameplay demo of this?
Yes, I actually got to play the tutorial last night, and it's just really fun, the things you can do on your ship. You can customize so much. Like, you can even change the name of your crew, which is really awesome. Like, just look here. You can just generate different names. Like, it's just really, really fun. Like, I'm enjoying with all the little cute details and things you can do.
I love little customizations.
I should say that this is the demo version of the game, which is a local multiplayer version of it, is now available for free on the Xbox Store. People can test it out.
Wow.
So it's a demo, so it's a portion of the game's mechanics. It has one campaign, one starter ship, and a few upgrades. But yeah, it's going to be live on the Xbox Store for the entirety of the month. So yeah, whoever wants to play, yeah.
I love the Transprime star lines. That looks cool. So Fabio, if you don't mind me asking, what were you doing before you decided to start Coffee Nuts? Because you said this is your first game. So what was your experience in game development before?
Well, I worked briefly at a studio, at a game studio in Brazil, but that was while I was already making the game. But before that, I was an English teacher. Yeah, like I have a bunch of people in my team that used to be other things, like a cashier, a baker, and then we kind of met at this really cool school that we have here in São Paulo. We learned how to make games there, and this project started there. So yeah.
Wow. I love that so much. The fact, that's the power of the idea of an Xbox program, is that anybody can be able to, if you want to be able to make a game, and you totally can do that, and there's resources to do that, and this just looks really, really cool. So, Snow, what are you accomplishing? What is your objectives right now that you're trying to be able to do?
So it looks like we're going to another station. Right, and so you have your crew here. It looks like you can navigate, you can scan for different things. There's a lot of asteroids, and I guess you could run into them, but if you probably shouldn't. But you can repair your ship if you do. You can also dance in this game, which I think is really, really cute. It's like a little rhythm game built in. Yes, we got to show you. Hold on, once we get back to the gameplay.
Yeah, I gotta see that. I gotta see the dancing.
It's like
actually
a little
quite cute.
rhythm game.
Yeah,
and you do it. Like just press the prompt when if you mess up, then your character kind of sweats, but it's really cute.
Just like real life.
Yeah, and a cool part of this, since it's a non-violent game, it's hard to have kind of enemies, and it's hard to make the player fail if you're not doing a good service to your passengers. So we created this villain who is the health inspector. Like if you're doing bad, he shows up in his little scooter, and the one way you can distract him is with the dance. So that's a very important aspect of this mechanic.
I love that.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow.
Wait, why did you decide on
it? Seems like you guys are going the wrong way, I think.
Yeah, we should probably have somebody driving.
Well, I mean, you woke up and you chose chaos, obviously. Why did you decide on an intergalactic travel company?
Well, that's a good question, but I think there's something about there's a bunch of retrofuturistic games out there, and we have the impression that they're usually based on futurism from the 40s or from the 70s, and both of those are very dark And like in the 40s, everything about space was scary. In the 70s, everything about space was scary as well, again, because of Alien and stuff like that. So we thought that there should be a game that was as optimistic about like this colorful, weird, magical space like in the 60s. Like if you watch Jetsons, like it seems so
love
cool.
the
Like you want to
Jetsons.
live there, you know.
Why don't we have the
yeah.
pills that you could put in the microwave yet? Like, you know, like how they did on the Jetsons, and that turns into food. I'm still
That'd be
waiting
so
on that.
amazing. So what are the kind of, so when you're on a flight, what are kind of the core tasks that you have to be able to do? Because this kind of has like a bit of like an Overcooked kind of vibe mixed with like FTL. I think that was mentioned in chat earlier. So yeah, what are the kind of things you have to do while you're flying to your destination? So
we love Overcooked, and one of the key differences between these games is that everything in the games is procedural, including the events that happen. So you have all your tools and the little systems in the ship and the stuff you can do, but what happens is actually dictated by this AI, which is controlling what is happening during the trip. If somebody gets sick and starts to puke, or if there's more asteroids or comets or asteroid belts. So you kind of have to improvise with the stuff you have. So you can pilot the ship, you can navigate using the map, you can dance, you can cook, you can like we've tried to get these tropes from sci-fi, like redirect power to shields, you know, that kind of stuff. So you can control the power, and mainly you have to handle the passengers. So if they're getting bored, they might start like pushing buttons and turning off the gravity.
Can you eject them? Can you send them out if you're just like, you know what, this one's too rowdy?
This is the #1 most requested feature we have, and it's weird. I think that says something about the little aliens.
You know, sometimes you gotta get stuff done. If someone's causing trouble, they get the boot. All right.
Hey, yeah, you know,
We're
I
gonna
get
take
it. It's
shit.
like you don't want to be rude to the flight attendants here.
Well, but if you are rude to the passengers, the inspector will show up, and he's scary.
Oh.
He's a big guy.
But then you just dance off, and he's just like, "Ooh, look at those moves," and then
and
you
he
hit the
dances
eject
along,
button.
which is really fun to watch.
I love that. So Snowy, like, what do you got? I saw that there was like your passengers were bored for a little bit. Did you actually make it? Looks like you kind of made it.
We did. We almost ran out of fuel. It was a close call.
Wow.
Good job, guys.
Oof. Nice, nicely done. Wow, that is just so cool.
We were a bit delayed, but we still made it.
Congratulations.
Hey, you know what? As you keep playing, like your time can only get be able to get better from there. So like what were Fabio? If I'm going to ask you, like, what were some of the influences for the animation style for this game?
The animation style, it's we wanted it to be because we have a lot of different characters, so we have to kind of figure out the animation again every time we have like this different alien with 3 eyes, or like this muscular alien, or this bug alien. So it's really cool to see like how Rick and Morty does it, like because they have a lot of different species of aliens every episode, and they have like their different ways of moving, and yeah, really, I mean, Futurama, Rick and Morty, all these kind of like comedy sci-fi shows.
Yeah.
They are a great influence.
That's cool.
Okay,
Snow, you did a fantastic job there. You got us to our destination. Looks like you're about to go on another trip. If before we say goodbye, Fabio, like when can chat and be able to expect to be able to play the game?
So as I said, right now we have this demo, which is public and free. By the way, the game is in beta, so we're inviting everyone watching to go and play and give us feedback. We have a form we set up in our Discord server, so go there and make suggestions. We're probably gonna get a lot of "Can I kick out the passengers?" But
Sorry.
we're ready. We don't know. So other than that, it's coming fall this year on Xbox and PC. We're actually right now we're opening a mailing list on a website for the pre-order of the special first class edition. Is going to have a bunch of cool content, and it's going to be available for purchase really soon. And
Very cool.
So I guess if you like comedy sci-fi like Futurama, Rick and Morty, or if you actually lived through the 60s, like the comedy sci-fi that was the 60s, I think there's something for everybody here. So test it out.
Snowy, any final thoughts?
I'm excited. I can see all the chaos that can happen, especially for people toggling the gravity and, you know, feeding. You can actually feed your passengers food too. Like that's another way to entertain them.
Yes.
So there's a lot you can do on the ship, and so I'm excited. I can see the chaos, especially when you have like a group of 4 people just playing, and you know, just it's got a lot of potential. I'm excited.
Thanks.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being here, Snowy and Fabio. Fabio, it was great having you. We're excited to play.
My pleasure.
It looks amazing.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you both. I can't wait to be able to play this and jump in and just, you know, run my own sort of intergalactic flight crew. I'm going
to be the worst team member. I'm just going to choose chaos the entire time. So
I'll have to keep an eye out for those airlocks just in case. Wow. Very cool. Well, thank you so much. Now, moving on, we actually we do have another exclusive trailer for you all that we think you're gonna really you're gonna enjoy. So here's a look at the Artful Escape.
Oh my gosh! No!
Yo, I'm Johnny Galvatron, and I'm a person who works at Beethoven and Dinosaur. Right now I'm going to be showing you a game that we've been working on since the fall of the Ottoman Empire in 1904. It's a game about a teenage guitar prodigy called Francis Vendetti. Francis is living in the shadow of his uncle, a dead folk superstar who many consider to be the voice of a generation. Attempting to escape the expectations of his hometown and his own insecurities, Francis embarks on a multi-dimensional adventure to inspire a new stage persona. It's called The Artful Escape. It begins, as many stories do, at home, and Francis's hometown is Calypso, Colorado.
Francis, you little bastard. Come to me, my love. I think when you're beneath those lights, I might catch a glimpse of my old friend.
You'll believe it's 1955.
Anyway, a bunch of nonsense occurs and Carl Weathers floats majestically into town.
I'm supposed to be a serious folk musician.
Oh, baby, we'll have you back in time for breakfast.
Lena Headey shows up to play a giant floating asymmetrical space head.
Well, if it isn't a fluffy little piece of space dust.
Then it gets a bit weird. We're going to drop you into the Heliotrons now for some musical mischief. The game uses a cipher called the Musical Key to interact and jam with the multiverse. You can use it to unlock doors, free jam, communicate with impossible creatures, and summon a pod of disco worms. Shown you a little of all the nonsense that happens in the Artful Escape, like boss jams, talk shows, and cosmic lungs. But here's some character customization set to a song written in 1988 by my musical partner Josh Abrahams, who doesn't know I stole it off his computer. Out September 9. Peace.
Megan, you weren't kidding. When you saw that logo, you freaked out.
Well, I read the chat. And it said Artful Escape. I already knew it was Annapurna. I cannot. That game is so incredible. I've been following it since it got announced. I actually got to speak with the dev, the dude who was talking, and he was in surfer shorts. He's so laid back and so chill, and like how he was doing his VO, that's how he is in real life. That game is something I've been looking forward to. It feels like a mix of like Night in the Woods and Oxenfree meets Wander Song. Like they're just so it's just so beautiful, right? What do you think?
I love that. And I personally, like, I love the art style. Like, this is kind of a game that, again, I haven't played, like, stuff like Oxenfree, so, like, this kind of has that kind of vibe. But what I love about this, because before I got into gaming, my previous career was in radio. So I grew up kind of, like, with the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s kind of, like, music. I love the kind of, like, classic rock style. And, like, hearing the guitar riffs and the guitar harmonies and just the distortion and, like, even the voice cast was kind of cool. Like, it just has this neat like look to it that I think in a way only Annapurna can be able to kind of do in this sort of like epic kind of in this really cool epic way. I'm stoked.
I'm so stoked. Annapurna is like my favorite studio. They just know how to release like the best games. The way they curate games, I already know I'm gonna love it. I'm like, that title card comes up and I'm like, yeah, I'm pre-ordering. I'm saving it. And this one has been a long-awaited one. So it's so cool to see that new gameplay, the customization at the end. Oh, man, I'm so excited. I'm sorry. I'm having a moment.
Me too. I mean, I'm just excited. We had to see some amazing games today from the ID at Xbox that are going to be coming soon. We saw stuff for like the Vale, which I'm personally loving. I love that that's there. We got to see just a ton of like really just Pathfinder paparazzi. We got to know find out like Stardew coming to Game Pass. Like it's just it's so cool. Like what are your thoughts of what were your kind of favorite moments of this so far?
Well, I blacked out when I was talking to Eric during that Stardew moment. I got real sweaty. So I think that was my favorite moment, as long as it was okay. Do you think I did all right?
It was good. No, you did great. You did fantastic.
Sarah Bond too. I was trying to be super cool. So I don't know. Obviously, Artful Escape is like one of the games I've been looking forward to the most. And so that trailer reveal at the very end probably takes the cake for me. But there's so many games I can't wait to play. I have a little notes list. I'm gonna go back and watch this stream and just kind of like save it as my on. I can't speak anymore, Steve.
It's okay. It's okay. We're right there with you. I'm right there with you. It's okay. We can breathe. It's like we're good. We're done. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Just to let you know, there's going to be some upcoming Twitch gaming shows. Before we say goodbye, we want to let you know, chat, that the Gamescom 2021 Xbox stream is set to happen on Tuesday, August 24th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, hosted by amazing dude Paris Lilly and Kate Yeager. I am so looking forward to that. So shout outs to them. They're amazing creators, and I can't wait to be able to see them host this dang thing. It's gonna be so great. So make sure to follow Twitch Gaming and Xbox's Twitch channels for that event. Also, plus this Thursday, tune in for a new episode of The Weekly right here on Twitch Gaming, hosted by Trisha Hirschberger. And actually, I can be able to say this for the first time. This is kind of cool. And myself. I will be the co-host along with Trisha this Thursday. So it should be a really fun. Yeah, I will. Oh, this is exciting. It should be a really fun show. Again, that's this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, only on Twitch Gaming.
And special thanks to all of the devs and the streamers who dropped by today. The lovely Sarah Bond from Microsoft, Eric Barone from Stardew Valley, Fabio Rosa, Space Lines from Far Out, Dave Evans, The Vale. That was so cool talking to him and seeing you guys just like go back and forth. I love that. And then Carolina Almeida and David Jimenez. This has just been an action-packed show, and it's been so wonderful getting to know you and co-hosting with you, Steve. You are just so lovely.
Aw, thanks so much. Oh man, so it was an absolute pleasure to be able to hang out with you today and just talk about indies and Xbox. Thank you for being my Uncle Iro. I appreciate it so much. I have so much to learn, and this is just a little bit into the indie world, and I want to thank you for being a guide. But for those in the, who in the chat who may want to be able to follow you and also be able to find out the indie guide or the Uncle Iro herself, can you tell us a little, where can we be able to find you online?
Yes, of course. I am an internet dinosaur. I've been around for the last 14 years. So you can find me anywhere on social media at Strawberry17, but specifically on Twitch, Strawberry17 Plays. Usually stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, Stardew, GTA, a lot of indie games and pixel art. I would love to get to know some of the people in chat, so stop on by, say hello. But yeah, that's me. Steve, what about you? Where can we find you? Where are you at? Where are you hanging?
Well, yeah, much like you, I'm also an old internet dinosaur. I've been around for a long time. But you can be able to find me on Twitter at Steve Saylor. That's SAYLOR. You can also find me here on Twitch at Blind Gamer Steve, or on YouTube, youtube.com/snowball. I talk a lot about accessibility, and I do accessibility reviews, and I just also have fun gaming, and I kind of I also get to consult with studios, and I get to kind of talk about that experience, and I just advocate for accessibility in the industry, because as Xbox likes to be able to say, when everybody plays, we all win. So
that's true.
Yeah,
I love that.
So that is
I love that you exist.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I love what you're doing, Steve.
That is. Thank you, Megan.
No, Steve, you stop it. I'm thanking you. Thank you, and thanks for everyone watching chat. Thank you for everyone at Microsoft for making today possible, and we'll see you guys later. What a good show. Bye.
Bye, chat. Bye.